So as you guys may or may not know, Brian Laundrie's parents are, is it equivalent to being sued? Gabby Petito wants to take Brian Laundrie's parents to court, and as they should. And a couple, I would say maybe like a week ago, the Laundries, they wanted to do a motion to dismiss, and the judge was like, okay, you know, I listened to both sides. Let me think about it. Give me like 2 weeks. Well, the judge finally came out, and the judge was like, yeah, we're going to just deny it. And I was able to find the court docs on it. And yeah, in the Circuit Court of the 12th Judicial Circuit in and for Sarasota County, Florida. I don't know why I kept thinking they were in California. But yeah, it is Florida. Before the court is defendant's motion to dismiss the amended complaint, the plaintiffs filed a response in opposition, and the defendants filed a reply. The court conducted oral argument. Today's ruling does not determine what happened to Gabby Petito. Instead, today's ruling is technical in nature. It determines only whether Gabby Petito's parents, the plaintiffs, stated a valid claim against Brian Laundrie's parents, the defendants. Because the Laundrie statement by their attorney in the context of the unique facts of the case is objectively outrageous, the court concludes that plaintiffs have stated causes of action for intentional infliction of emotional distress against the Laundries. The court denies the Laundries' motion to dismiss. Oh man, okay, yeah. So this is gonna be very interesting because I feel so bad for Gabby's parents. I mean, like, I know the Laundries, I know they weren't the ones that actually murdered Gabby, but like the fact that they, you know, if they knew that their son did it and they didn't give a fuck about Gabby Petito's family at all, and like there were days where, you know, the parents would be like, hey, like, you know, can you please tell us what happened to our daughter? Like, please, like, let us know, like, what happened? Like, we need to know. And they just wouldn't do anything. I don't know. That just lacks a lot of like sympathy and, or I guess empathy. It just seems really pretty gross, especially if you have kids yourself. You should definitely understand like how another parent would feel if their kids were missing. So I don't know. The whole like self-preservation thing is just kind of shit. We're going to court. Justice for Gabby. Who is Petito? Oh yeah, I guess I should, in case you guys don't know, I guess we can just talk about it really quick. So just like a quick little rundown if you guys aren't familiar with Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie. They were, I believe they were fiancés. Yeah, they were fiancés. They were going to get married. They decided to drop everything. They're very young, by the way. I think by the time that Gabby was murdered, I believe she was like 22 years old. Very, very young. I don't know how old Brian Laundrie was. Maybe similar age. But they decided to quit everything and they wanted to do the van life. And if you guys don't know, the van life is like, it's kind of like trending right now on YouTube, where people are just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to quit this, and that. And then we're going to get like a van and we're going to tour around the country. And then we're just going to live like off the grid-ish, right? And so that's what they did. They, you know, decided to, I don't know, did they buy a van? They bought a van. They wanted to become like YouTubers and they were vlogging their journey. And I don't know if it's still up, but she did post like a vlog. And I remember when I looked at it, it had over 1 million views. Not because they were like, you know, popular and famous for their vlogs. It was because afterwards when she went missing, people were like, oh wait, like this person has like a YouTube channel. Let's go and look at it. So yeah, it's a little bit like, it's so eerie to watch like things like that, you know, because this was like months before she was going to be murdered. I don't know if it's still up though. It's so sad. They didn't even care about the parents, and that makes it even more tragic. Yeah, I just don't know how you can just not put yourself in other people's shoes at that point. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I guess it's hard to say because like I'm not a parent right now, but I don't know, man. If your kid like did something like that, fuck it. You fucking report them. Bye, you know? Like, I don't know. It's like so sad, especially if your kid murdered another parent's kid. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, they decided to go on this like road trip thing, and they were actually pulled over by cops. I don't know who witnessed it, but apparently someone saw them arguing, and I think they said they saw like Brian Laundrie. He was like slapping Gabby. The cops came, and I still think it's available online. There's like a whole 1 hour body cam footage of, you know, the cops talking to Brian and Gabby and separately. And then after talking to him for like an hour, they're like, okay, like you guys should just like separate from each other, just like chill for a little bit, you know? And yeah, then that's what happened. And then like throughout the trip, like there were some other things that happened as well. But at some point, Brian returns back to Florida without Gabby. And people are like, the fuck, what happened to Gabby? And, you know, he goes, He and his family kind of go radio silent, and from my understanding, I think they took like a little one last family vacation trip. Meanwhile, Gabby Petito's family are like, what happened to Gabby? Like, what is going on? And at some point, they file a missing persons report, and then they're trying to investigate Brian Laundrie, but then he disappears. And then, of course, you know, a couple of weeks later, I believe they found Gabby Petito's body. It was confirmed that she was strangled. And then I think a couple weeks after that, they finally found Brian Laundrie's body. He went to like a national park somewhere, and he ended his life. Or people are speculating, they don't know if it was him that actually ended his life or if he asked someone else to do it. But yeah, I don't know. It's like a whole it's a whole mess. There's a lot of nuances that I'm missing, but that's just basically the general idea of it. Oh, is it still up? Oh yeah. So you guys, if you guys do like a deep dive on it, you'll find a lot of like really crazy things. But what I thought was really crazy was when this all came out, there were a lot of people that were making a lot of speculations and stuff. This blew up on TikTok. It blew up on YouTube. It was crazy. Everyone was like, we had a bunch of internet sleuths trying to solve like the case where Gabby was, where Brian was, and yeah, it was a shit show. So this is them.
Gabby Petito never goes outside.
So sad. Yeah, so sad. Ugh. But yeah, it's like a whole like 8-minute vlog of them, like the different cities that they visited, and yeah, all that stuff. Gabby's dad said that Gabby was a modern day hippie. I think they did many drugs and couldn't handle it. Yeah, I think I heard of that too. People were saying that like, oh, was it possible that they were doing drugs, and then like that's the reason why Brian couldn't bring Gabby's body back and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I don't know. I would assume that they would do a toxicology report on Gabby's body. I don't know how long drugs stay in your body after you've been deceased. But yeah, I would assume a toxicology report would have been done to see if there was like any signs of like drugs during the time of her death. But yeah. Oh, she had a TikTok too? I watched it. She did a great job. Yeah, it's actually like a really good vlog. For a first vlog, it's actually pretty good. Really great camera shots, and yeah, it looks really awesome. But yeah, it's really sad though. It's like, you know, like, cause like I'm assuming they wanted to be famous, right? And like for her to be famous this way, it's just like, it's like a tragedy. This right here, right? Okay, the operative complaint is the amended complaint. Each of the 4 counts purport to state a cause of action for intentional infliction of emotional distress based on the same allegations of fact. The plaintiffs are Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt, the parents of Gabby Petito, who is deceased. The defendants are Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie, the parents of Brian Laundrie, who is deceased. Each plaintiff sued each defendant. To avoid confusion, the court refers to individuals by their first name instead of their last name. Under Florida law, the court must assume all well-pled facts are true when ruling on a motion to dismiss. That is because a motion to dismiss tests whether the allegations in the amended complaint state one or more legal causes of action against the defendants. Another rule the court must follow in deciding this motion is the court may only consider the facts alleged in the amended complaint and nothing else, as this motion is not substitute for summary judgment. The readers caution that the allegations of facts the court will discuss below are simply that, allegations are not proven fact. Okay, so here's I guess this is a summary right here. There's a summary right here. I could have just written that. Okay. Hi, Lion. How's it going on? Hello. In July 2020, Brian and Gabby became engaged to each other. The following year, in July 2021, Brian and Gabby left New York in Gabby's van, headed west for a van life trip that was to last several months. Gabby intended on documenting her trip and publishing her journey on various social media sites to establish herself as a travel influencer. Gabby regularly called her family while on the trip. Gabby's last communication with her family occurred on August 21st, 2021. Gabby's last communication with her mother occurred on August 27, 2021. Brian murdered Gabby on August 27, 2021. Brian then texted his and Gabby's telephone to hide the fact that Gabby was dead. Brian will continue to send texts from Gabby's phone until at least August 30, 2021, in which Brian disguised as Gabby texted Gabby's mother, stating there was no service in Yosemite Park. Brian did this to suggest that Gabby was still alive. Gabby was 22 years old at the time of her death. Oh my God, that is so young. Like, you're just beginning your life at that point. You haven't even done anything. On August 28, 2021, Brian told his parents that he murdered Gabby. Oh, the court must assume this to be true for this motion. Oh man, I wonder if it's so apparently there's rumors speculating that or circulating that Brian's mom wrote like a letter that was labeled burn after reading, and I guess he was a dum dum and he didn't burn it after reading. He just kept it. So, and there was also like electronic diary as well. Ooh man, when all the evidence comes to light, it's gonna be very interesting. That same day, Christopher and Roberto spoke with an attorney, and they would send the attorney a money retainer several days later. On September 1st, 2021, Brian returned to his parents' home in Northport, Florida, driving Gabby's van. Brian and his parents then vacationed together, oh God, at Fort DeSoto Park on September 6th to 7th. Just as like a last vacation. Ugh. They took this vacation each knowing that Gabby was dead, and her parents were frantically looking for her. On or about September 10, 2021. Wow, Roberta blocked Nicole on Roberta's cell phone on Facebook. Oh my God. Such scums. Huh. On September 14, 2021, fully knowing that Gabby was dead and knowing the general whereabouts of Gabby's body, the Laundries attorney released the following statement. Yeah, this statement is disgusting. It is our understanding that a search has been organized for Ms. Petito or near Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. On behalf of the Laundrie family, it is our hope that a search of Ms. Petito is successful and that Ms. Petito is reunited with her family. Yeah, Ms. Petito's body. Ugh, such scums. Okay. On September 16, 2021, the attorney for Gabby's family issued a letter to Christopher and Roberta, which provided, "We are writing this letter to ask you to help us find our beautiful daughter." Wait. We are writing this letter to ask you to help find our beautiful daughter. We understand you are going through a difficult time and your instinct to protect your son is strong. Yeah, fuck that. We understand you're going through a difficult time. No, fuck that. We ask you to put yourselves in our shoes. We haven't been able to sleep or eat and our lives are falling apart. We believe you know the location of where Brian left Gabby. We beg you to tell us. As a parent, how could you let us go through pain and not help us? As a parent, how can you put Gabby's youngest brothers and sisters through this? Gabby lived with you for over a year. Yeah, that's right. Gabby was living with Brian and his parents. She was going to be your daughter-in-law. How can you keep her location hidden? You were both at Jim and Nicole's house. You were both so happy that Brian and Gabby got engaged and were planning to spend their lives together. Please, if you or your family have any decency left, which they didn't, please tell us where Gabby's located. Tell us if we are even looking in the right place. All we want is Gabby to come home. Please help us make that happen. Christopher and Roberta declined to respond to either Joseph or Nicole, instructing all communications be made to their attorney. The attorney would issue no comment when asked about Gabby. They did this knowing of Joseph and Nicole's mental suffering, and by advising where Gabby was, they could prevent such additional mental suffering and anguish of Joseph and Nicole by disclosing what they knew about the well-being and location of the remains of Gabby. Yet, they refused to do so. Continuing, Joseph and Nicole further alleged that Christopher and Roberta acted with malice and great indifference to the rights of Joseph and Nicole. Yeah, they were engaged for about like a year, and then she also lived with him and his family for a year as well. Hi, Dimitri. How are you doing today? Damn, this is heavy. Yeah. All right, so 1, a note about legal duty. Laying aside for the moment the statements the Laundries made through their attorneys, the other conduct plaintiffs complain of mostly involves the Laundries failing to act. Specifically, plaintiffs seek to fault the Laundries for not telling the plaintiffs that Gabby was dead or where her body was located. The Laundries framed their silence in constitutional terms, arguing their silence was constitutionally permissible under the First, Fifth, and Sixth Amendments to the U.S. Constitution and related Florida Constitution provisions. The court does not believe it is necessary or appropriate in this case to resolve these constitutional claims on a motion to dismiss. The contours of the facts are not sufficiently distilled to apply these important guarantees. Those claims are more appropriately addressed, if at all, at the summary judgment stage. Plaintiffs during oral argument candidly conceded they struggled with the legal duties owed by the Laundries to them, that they would require the Laundries to break their silence. Plaintiffs appear to conflate morality with legal duty. plaintiffs have not identified, and the court is unaware of any legal duties the Laundries would have owed to the plaintiffs to tell the plaintiffs that Gabby was dead or the location of her body. Further, the plaintiffs point to no duty that the Laundries were under to accept text or social media messages from the plaintiffs or refrain from taking a vacation while the plaintiffs searched for Gabby. Okay? But they did not stay silent. Yeah, so this is the part that really fucks them up. So they had a right to stay silent and stuff, but the fact that they had a lawyer give the statement out, that's what really fucks them. It was a statement. Where the hell did it go? Where did the statement go? It's just here. Oh, right here. Is it this one? Yeah. The statement right here where it's like, oh, we hope you can find Gabby and I hope she's reunited with her family. So they didn't, I guess they shouldn't have made that statement. Yeesh. I mean, we all have our speculations, right? I think a lot of people were speculating that, she was a victim of DV and he took it too far. He took it so far that, I think maybe he severely hurt her and he didn't want to get in trouble for it. So that's why he might have given her like the mercy kill. But yeah, I don't know. It's just all speculation at this point. But we'll have to wait until more evidence comes out. The Laundries contend that their statement is not outrageous as a matter of law. The Laundries spoke. Sorry, I'm skipping around. Okay. If the facts of this case truly were about silence with no affirmative action by the Laundries, the court would have resolved this case in the Laundries' favor on the concept of legal duty, or more precisely, the lack of any legal duty for the Laundries to act. Had the Laundries truly stayed silent, the court would have granted the motion to dismiss the Laundries' favor. But they did not stay silent. Oh man, I feel like the Laundries after this, they're gonna sue their lawyers. Be like, damn it, you guys gave us bad lawyer advice. The Laundries attorneys released a statement that plaintiffs argue was outrageous under the facts of this case. Plaintiffs sufficiently alleged that the Laundries spoke. Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie, through their lawyer, issued the following statement, which is above. At oral argument, the Laundries contended that there was no allegation in the amended complaint that their attorney knew that Gabby was dead or the whereabouts of her body when he released the Laundries statement. That position is meritless. Oh my gosh, for 3 reasons. All right, what are the 3 reasons? First, generally, an attorney serves as agent for his client. The attorney's acts are the acts of the principal, the client. Here we have a citation. Second, all facts and reasonable inferences are construed in favor of a non-movement, here are the plaintiffs. A reasonable interference is that the attorney knew the same information the Laundries knew. Third, the words used in the statement indicated the Laundries agreed to it. It provided our understanding, and on behalf of the Laundrie family, it is our hope, ... Oh, man. Certainly, there is no allegation in the amended complaint that the Laundries disavowed the statement. Ooh, yeah, that statement got them in trouble. The purposes of the motion dismissed, the court must assume that the Laundries are responsible for authoring the September 14, 2021 statement issued by their attorney. All right, now number 3, the statement. He should have hired Elaine. I think, wasn't Elaine? No, Elaine probably was one of the lawyers that screwed Amber over during the Washington Post op-ed. I think Elaine was still a lawyer back then. Nick Cage's best performance, in my opinion. No. Nick Cage's best performance was the bees. Not the bees. That was the best performance ever. Also, I really like Nick Cage's movies. I'll be what about. Oh, yeah, here's Steve. You guys can say hi to Steve. He's just chilling here. I just put the little bandana on him yesterday. He's so cute. All right, number 3, the statement. The Laundries contend that their statement is not outrageous as a matter of law. At oral argument, they suggested merely was a plain statement. Plaintiffs, in contrast, countered during oral argument that the statement knowingly was false, designed to create false hope, and issued by the Laundries, who knew Gabby was dead and where her body was located. The elements of the intentional infliction of emotional distress tort and the contours of that tort have been described by the Second District Court of Appeals as follows. I don't know if I want to read all this. I think we're good. We don't have to read that. The court focused on the second element, outrageous conduct. Both sides presented several cases the court has reviewed suggesting the conduct alleged in this case was either or was not outrageous. Reviewing those cases were helpful to calibrate whether the alleged conduct was outrageous enough to state a cause of action, as the determination is an issue of law for the court in the first instance. An important lesson from the cases cited by the parties is that context matters. Conduct viewed in isolation as being insufficient to state a cause of action, whether considered with other conduct, may be sufficient to state a cause of action. Stedman. Let's see. Oh man, this is a bunch of law stuff. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there, guys. In Stedman, the second district concluded that the insurance company's delay in approving the double lung transplant, after being ordered to do so by a judge of compensation claims by itself, did not rise to the outrageous conduct. When paired with any other conduct, such as knowledge that the delay would speed up the demise of the insured, the delay in approval rose to the level of outrageousness to state a cause. Oh god, we have to look that up. What happened there? They did talk about this during because this whole thing was televised. So I remember they made a reference to something like this. All right. Outrageous to state a cause of action for intentional infliction of emotional distress. The Florida Supreme Court is recognizing the tort of intentional infliction of emotional distress suggested by the comments in section blah, 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 as appropriate definition of the tort. Nonetheless, the 4th District did not conform its finding to the comments explaining the application of the definition. Regardless of whether the conduct must fall under the comments to be considered outrageous, the Laundries conduct alleged here does find support under comment F and to a lesser content. Comment E. Comment F provides the extreme and outrageous character of the conduct may arise from the actor's knowledge that the other's peculiarly susceptible to emotional distress by reason of some physical or mental condition or peculiarity. The conduct may become heartless, flagrant, or outrageous when the actor proceeds in the face of such knowledge, where it would not be so if the actor did not know. It must be emphasized again, however, that the major outrage is essential to the tort, and the mere fact that the actor knows that the other will regard the conduct as insulting or will have the other's feelings hurt is not enough. All right. The words used by Laundries on the surface initially do not suggest outrage. On behalf of the Laundrie family, it is our hope that the search for Ms. Petito is successful and that Ms. Petito is reunited with her family. When juxtaposed with the other conduct in this case, though, the outrageous threshold is surpassed. As alleged by the plaintiffs, the Laundries made their statement knowing that Gabby was dead, knowing the location of the body, knowing that her parents were frantically looking for her. If this is true, the Laundries statement was particularly callous and cruel. I agree. And is sufficient outrage to state claims for intentional infliction of emotional distress. All right, we have some more. Let's talk about this one. In Thomas v. Hospital Board of Directors of Lee County, medical personnel agreed to tell the family of a decedent that the decedent died from stress of surgery and not by negligent overdose of a drug during surgery. Oh, that's fucked up. During the funeral, the medical examiner learned from the cover-up, prompting the medical examiner to demand the return of the body for a more complete autopsy. The 2nd District concluded that the defendant's action of providing false information to family members under those circumstances met the standard of claim of outrage. Oh my God, we gotta look that up too. What? Jeez. How long ago was that? 2010? That wasn't that long ago. In Williams v. City of Mineola, police officers took photographs and a video during an autopsy, then displayed those images to non-department. What? What the fuck? What was this? Police officers took photographs and a video during an autopsy, then displayed those images to non-department personnel. Displayed? What do they do? Like print it out and like splatter it on the wall? Non-department personnel at a party. The family members of the decedent were not present. Why would they do that? It's so fucking weird. The 5th District concluded that even those whose images were public record, the manner of display without public record request, even when the family members were not present, was sufficient to state a cause of an action for intentional infliction of emotional distress. What the fuck? Okay, we have to look that up too. What the heck is all this crazy stuff? Hi, Joser. Hi, Sum. Oh, sorry. All right, I want to look up those other cases too. What the heck? It actually reminds me of, do you guys remember there was I think she was a teenager, either really young 20s or teenager. She was under the influence of drugs. She took her dad's like Porsche out and she was driving it pretty fast. And she clipped like a Honda Accord and then smashed into like a toll booth. And her death was so crazy and gory that the people that were at the scene like took pictures of it. But not only that, they took pictures of it and they shared it to their friends, somehow ended up on the internet. And it was like everywhere. It was like really sad. Like the mom, the dad were trying to do everything they can to scrub the internet of the photos. But you know how hard it is to get photos down. But like to this day, it's still up there. But yeah, it's just crazy. What? the LAPD did with Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash pictures, total BS. I heard about that. But they were actually able to scrub the internet of that, right? Because I don't think the pictures are like circulating or anything. Okay, number 4. There will be no avalanche of litigation. The Laundries argue that denying their motion to dismiss will result in an avalanche of litigation for situations where relatives of tort victims receive bad news about family members. They base their argument on la 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 la. The Laundries argue misses the mark. Let's go, judge. In MM, the tortfeasor told the parents of the victim that the tortfeasor had sexually abused their daughter, and the tortfeasor's wife had supplied illegal drugs to their daughter. The parents sued the tortfeasor based solely on the distress from the tortfeasor disclosure to them. The daughter separately sued the tortfeasor based on the tortfeasor's sexual abuse. The 3rd District held the parents had no cause of action under those facts. That court remarked that receiving bad news about family members was insufficient for a claim where there is no attendant intentional or reckless conduct directed towards them. The court has no quarrel with that holding, and in fact, it is consistent with the court's decision today. The fact of MM simply, I can't look at MM the same anymore. I always think of Mother's Milk from The Boys. I definitely saw my share when I was like in middle school. It was pretty wild. Like you would go on LimeWire, Kazaa, download like a song, and then it would actually be like a video of like something really crazy and like gory and stuff. Yeah, it was LimeWire, Kazaa. The facts of MM simply are distinguishable because because there were no facts in MM suggesting the tortfeasor directly any conduct towards the parents. Here, plaintiffs allege that the Laundries issued a public statement of false hope knowing Gabby was dead and the location of her body while Gabby's parents frantically were searching for her under mysterious circumstances. The two factual scenarios are readily distinguishable. There will be no avalanche of litigation based on denying the Laundries' motion to dismiss. 5. A parting thought. The court is aware the Laundries have made additional arguments in their filings and an oral argument to support their motion. The court need not detail those except to say none are sufficient to preclude the court at the motion to dismiss stage from concluding that the amended complaint states causes of action for intentional infliction of emotional damage. The Laundries' motion to dismiss is due to be denied. It is therefore ordered, 1. The defendant's motion to dismiss the amended complaint is denied. Number 2. Defendant Christopher Laundrie and defendant Roberta Laundrie shall answer the amended complaint on or before July 15. No, that's like in 2 weeks from now. 2022. Done and ordered in Venice, Sarasota County, Florida on June 30th. Hunter W. Carroll, Circuit Judge. All right, very nice. Very nice. So the civil trial against the Laundries will be pursued. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah.